it was an overwhelming experience. This is one truth that no one tells you about breaking into cybersecurity. And by the end of 2020, I had over 55 certificates and about 5 internationally recognized certifications. Hello, cyber friends. All right, I started my cybersecurity journey in 2020 during the lockdown, and it was an overwhelming experience. I did more than 55 certificate courses before I could say I have certain knowledge about cybersecurity ecosystem or about the cybersecurity industry. All right, so this is one truth that no one tells you about breaking into cybersecurity, right? And that truth is breaking in requires you to actually take in a lot of knowledge, and the reason is that the cybersecurity space or the cybersecurity profession or the cybersecurity field is very wide, and there are a lot of connecting dots from different aspects of tech that actually makes the cybersecurity profession itself. For instance, networking is a field on its own, but networking is the basics for you to actually thrive in cybersecurity. So it's like saying that you actually want to get started or you want to start off with the knowledge of networks and network devices, how data communicates across computers on a network. Just like someone who wants to start out as a network security engineer or as a network engineer or a network development engineer, they have to know a lot of networking, network bases, IPv4, IPv6, IPsec, and other networking stuff. The only difference for a cybersecurity professional is that while you learn about networking, you do not go in depth into network configurations like a network engineer. But that's a standalone field on its own, but you are taking on knowledge from that particular field, right? That's major, right? Another topic that you really want to learn about is operating systems, and that's like a computer science based topic. Yes, we know that cybersecurity is like a branch from computer science, like a general tech, but taking operating system alone only, in fact, operating system only is a field in itself, because there's a lot to learn. And as a cybersecurity professional, you also have to understand how operating system work, right? So these are the knowledge that actually makes it very bulky. By the time you're starting out, you want to start out with knowledge and concepts around networks and networking devices, concepts around operating systems, how computer works. Data is also a big topic. So the truth that nobody tells you is that it can be very overwhelming to break into cybersecurity to start out. But the comforting truth is you can start now. You don't need to get intimidated by the load of information online. And that is why I normally recommend structured learning. So when you have a structured learning and you plan yourself very well, you'll be able to outline, or highlight the topics that you want to touch on, which have the basics of networking, data, and operating system, programming languages, and all of that. So you build a structured learning for yourself. Before you know it, you'll be able to, at least to an extent, within first few months, be able to get some basic and critical understanding skills of some of these fundamentals that will actually launch you into understanding what cybersecurity is. Apart from that, there are security concepts that you need to learn about, and all of those also some very, very deep and in-depth discussions that you need to look at. And all of this put together makes it the cybersecurity space very overwhelming when you're starting out. As I said at the start of this video, I started out, in 2020 during the lockdown, and that afforded me the opportunity to be able to actually take on so many free courses that were made available then, even though they were paid before the lockdown, but they were made available to Microsoft, to AWS, to Coursera. So then a lot of courses on Coursera were made available for free. To Udemy, a lot of courses on Udemy were made available for free. So I took advantage of all of those courses during that period. And because of the lockdown, everybody was indoor. I started learning. And by the end of 2020, I had over 55 certificates and about 5 internationally recognized certifications. And that opportunity might not be available for you today like it did for me during the lockdown, but I believe that there are free resources available online scattered. I know the challenge will be there are a lot of resources available on the internet. How do I know which one to pick? How do I know which one not to pick? How do I know which one that is best for me at this point? My advice would be that you actually pick a particular certification like Security Plus, go through their exam objective and see the how all of those chapters and those topics were actually arranged. That can give you like where to start, or a starting point, what to look for as you're starting out, the topics you should actually touch on as you're starting out. Or if you don't want to go that route, you can actually go to the NIST Cybersecurity Workforce Framework. That platform helps you to gives you the knowledge that is needed, the skills that is needed, and the tasks that you'll be conducting as a professional in any of those career paths within the cybersecurity space. That will help you to start on time and structure your learning. All right. Yes. So that is the truth that nobody tells you about starting your career in cybersecurity. It can be very overwhelming, but with a structured learning, I believe you can actually start learning right. All right. I'll see you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. And I will be starting a series called Journey to Cybersecurity series, where I'll be sharing some of my experiences, how I started out, and some of the things I did when I started out that really helped me. And see you in the next video. Bye.